Hello. It's Wednesday. It is Wednesday. And I am assuming, if you just bear with me, I've had some technology problems today. I'm not going to assume. I'm going to check to make sure that I'm talking to you, not just talking to myself. I apologize. Just have had enough of being out there, investing, and then finding out, we've been over this. You know how much I hate that idea. So let me just see if you can hear me. Hey, it looks like you can. All right. That's good enough for me. It's Wednesday. We did a Bible study this morning. It was fraught with technology problems, mostly internet connectivity, things I don't know how it works. I don't have any idea. I remember years and years ago, back in the days of rotary telephones, remember them? Telephones and the dial. I still call it a dial tone. I remember traveling. At the time I was on a trip to Germany, and I was on a train, and while I was on that train, I noticed over in there, the seats were those facing each other, front to back carriage seats, and across the aisle, there was a man who was holding a box, pretty big box, to his ear. And I was watching him, he was talking into it, and the person that was my host there said that was a wireless telephone. I still remember in my mind trying to get a picture of how that works. How can it be wireless? Through the airwaves? Wow, things have come a long way. I mean, I know this communication right now isn't wireless over the long distance, but by the time it gets to you, if you're on a phone or even on a computer, it moves to wireless. I mean, I never was troubled by a radio. I got how a radio worked, I thought. Radio waves. I don't even know how that works. I don't know how television works. I don't. Cable's a little easier for me if it's on a cable. How does it work? When my kids were little, there was a book that they really loved. It was How It Works, and it took things out of their world and kind of broke them down. And said, this is. Here's my 2 o'clock yawn. It said, this is how it works. And it was cool. You turn the pages, and like a dishwasher, there would be in there. Shows how a dishwasher works. How does a dishwasher make dishes clean? How does it work? All right, so here we go. It's time to get wax theological and philosophical. How does it work in life? How does it work? How does it work? Complex systems of dependency. I'm not even talking about people. I'm just talking about all the things around us. The wind blows, the trees move. Clouds come, the rain falls. You drop something out of your hand, it falls to the ground. virus begins to spread through the world and stay inside. And I've never seen it. Have you seen it? I haven't seen it. I've seen pictures of it, what they say it looks like. How does it work? How does it work? They almost, when they talk about it, they almost give it a personality, you know. When crisis comes in our lives, studies show that the result of the crisis changes what's ordinary and regular in our lives, and that turns up the volume on us being aware of things that in some ways we thought were ordinary, and then all of a sudden we discover they're not ordinary at all. And sometimes that's a level of appreciation, and I've been having that ever since all these changes in our lives have come. It's also, honestly, it's been the effect too of these marches against racism and against the militarization of police departments. I'm not black, obviously, but I can tell you that some of the concern rings true for me. I raised 4 children, and my kids were not bad kids. They were not. They did things. They did some things. But there were some really aggressive encounters between my children and those particular police officers. I'm not talking about police in general. I never have been. That would be ridiculous to try to talk against racism and then talk about another group in a broad generalization. Broad generalizations are what racism is. I'm talking about specific incidences where individuals seem to be trained as I don't know, militant, aggressive, and against my kids. It wasn't okay with me. It wasn't okay. On the other hand, our family has several friends that work as police officers, state police officers, local police, people that we love and adore. They're not aggressive. They're not hostile. And they went into policing to make a difference and to help. And I think there's this combination. It all gets treated as if it's all the same. One of the things that I've been thinking a lot about is that the police right now that's a profession in our society. And everyone is trying very hard to make the distinction between those that understand the ministry of policing, the ministry of it, the caring part of it, the safety and protection part of it, and those who use that authority and power to harm people. And then I think, well, I can understand that because the same thing is true in my profession. I mean, you are aware I'm a pastor, right? The denigration and loss of reputation to pastors in our society today is like a cliff fall. And I can say that and understand the reasons why. I understand the reasons why. Brutal abuse of power. And not just the Catholic Church, the Presbyterian Church. And it reflects on me. It does. It changes people's impressions of me and who I am. Why did I become a pastor? Maybe I like power. Maybe I like being able to tell people what to do or scare the hell out of them. I get it. Believe me. How does it work? How does it work? Especially, how does it work for us to get where we want to be? You know, we in the clergy are really, we're not innocent of racism either. Congregations have been the proponents of treating people because of the color of their skin or their sexual orientation or and then we get behind it and we go, well, God feels this way about it. And when I was growing up, the churches that I was attending were laying down a biblical foundation that said, you know, it was never God's intention that white people should have anything to do with black people, especially interracial marriage. Oh my goodness, the church was the keeper of that. And I'm not sure it's gone. When I was in seminary, there was a white woman and a black woman attending our church, and they came to me and they wanted to get married. I was young. It was a different time. And I was in seminary, and I went to my seminary professor. I said, what am I going to do? You know, he's a very progressive-minded social justice person. He said, you know what the solution to integrated marriage is? I said, no, please tell me. He goes, do it. Because pretty soon, after black people marry white people and all of that happens, pretty soon the problem will go away. Because it was never really a problem to begin with. Preachers. Oh, you see pictures of police that get crazy in the middle of a chaotic scene on the street. I get it. I'm not endorsing it, and they should be disciplined. But I see pastors that are out of control. Really out of control. They're using weapons that hurt worse than sticks. How does it work? How do we go from entrusted with high and lofty ideals, caretaking, ministry? I go to Canada for vacation now almost every summer. When you talk to the Canadians, every department of government is called the Ministry of. So there's the Ministry of Parks. There's the Ministry of Health and Well-being. There's all their government departments are called ministries. And it's a word because I'm in the ministry. It's just an interesting thing. How does it work? That those of us who are called to be ministers, to me, dispensing blessings, the blessings of safety and protection and guidance. How does it work? Or how is it that it so badly doesn't work sometimes? No answers today. Just questions. And I try every day as I think about what the questions are or the comments or the observations that are coming to my mind from these conversations to then lift them upward. What does this sound like? My friend Ben Frauman's been writing a prayer to God every day since the COVID started. Writing it, putting it out there. How does this conversation move into a prayer? Lord, help us, we need your help. Help us to be faithful and true to the callings that we have. Doctors who have the skill to minister health and use the privacy of the office to abuse a patient who's trusted them. Lord, help us. Help the world. Help people in government. Without your hand, oh God, holding them and us to this calling of ministry to others, we become worse than neutral. We become worse than just do nothing. Because now the power we have to do ministries of safety and protection, and ministries of helping to keep law and order, that power then becomes a power to abuse, to hurt. Lord, help us help us all. Help leaders of governments and organizers of police departments, small and large. Help the armies of the world to go out to fight, if you will, for a better world. To bring the better world with them. Help teachers as they seek to help. Guard them from the fatigue and the frustration that leads them to the helper becoming the herder. You know this pattern, God. You know this pattern. Help us, we pray. Oh Lord, in every area of life, there are those to whom we entrust ourselves. When we're children, it's to our parents, to our teachers. When we're adults, it's to our pastors and to our police officers and to our government officials. We entrust our lives to them. And so we ask that you guard them and guide us. Help us to see how it works. Keep our eyes on the prize of loving and caring for one another and creating a better world for everyone. To that end, we pray in this time with each other. Amen. So I still don't know how all this works, but I'm hoping that the Facebook Live and also the YouTube Live work today, even though I don't know how it worked. Just like everything else, I hope it's working for you today. God bless you, strengthen you, and keep you.